Here's what happened. We galloped for hours under the scorching sun. We passed the Grand Canyon. I stopped at the edge and looked below. Have you ever seen the Grand Canyon? It's unbelievable. I had always thought the canyon was formed by very high mountain, but it's not. It grew cold as the night fell. I couldn't stop shivering. My teeth started chattering. I ate too many beans. My stomach got upset. My tail started aching. I stumbled my paw on a rock. A snake almost bit me. I sat on a cactus. I couldn't light the fire. I fell in a stream. A scorpion attacked me and just cheese niblets. We decided to rest. We finally sat around the fire. Trap played his banjo. Meg played the harmonica. We all sang "Oh, Suzanne." I have to admit, it was a lot of fun. The text from "Oh, Suzanne." I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. I'm going to Los Angeles, my true love, for to see. It rained all day. It rained all night. The day I left, the weather, it was dry. The sun so hot, I froze to death. Suzanne, don't you cry. Oh, Suzanne, don't you cry, for I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. A real cow rat. Sorry. The night I fell asleep next to my friends, I was wrapped in a warm blanket with my head resting on my saddle. Before I drifted off, I gazed up into the sky. Thousands of stars kept watch over me. It was an amazing night. In the morning, I nibbled on a tasty breakfast. A stack of yummy cheddar pancakes, bacon, an egg, and 2 slices of American cheese toast. It was whisker-licking good. I was feeling real great. I always do when my belly is full of cheese, plus I was getting used to being on a horse. Mick taught me how to lasso. He explained why the horse needs shoes, why to brush it, and how to feed it. I galloped across the plains with the wind whipping through my whiskers. Cheesecake, I was having fun. Wait a minute. I felt like a real cow rat. Yes, I, Geronimo Stilton, was still to really like the Wild Wild West. A nightmare named Bessie. We finally arrived at Whisker Wicked's ranch. It was dark and spooky looking, and the whole place made my fur curl. Just my Wicked centered up. Are you ready to lose, stranger? Are you ready to face Bessie? He cackled. I tried to look tough, but inside it felt like a bowl of cream cheese and jelly. No problem. I stammered. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. How bad would an animal named Bessie be? I saw him. Bessie, I mean. He was an immense black beast, the size of double-decker cheese delivery trucks. He had terrifying red eyes. Oh my, sorry. That looked like were on fire. His horns were as long as my tail. Bessie is a bull, for anyone who didn't guess. My eyes nearly popped out of my fur. No, Bessie wasn't dangerous. He was deadly. What is that? I croaked. Trap snorted. Wake up and smell the cheese, Jailmeister, he scoffed. It's a bull. Of course. Look at the horns. One poke and you'll be running for your squeaking life. I felt faint. No wonder Wicked Whiskers knew he would win the challenge. I'd never be able to ride Bessie. Not for all the cheesy chews in the world. Go, cousin, move your tail, Trap ordered. Then he pushed me. Don't push me! I can't stand it when you push me. I grabbed the fence. I changed my mind. I can't do this, I squeaked. There rolled her eyes. Oh, don't be such a crybaby mouse, she groaned. So much for her support, I steamed. A little paw grabbed mine. Uncle Geronimo, you can do it. I have faith in you, little Benjamin whispered. Yeah. Of course. That's all it took. Of course that's all it took. How could I let my dear little sweet nephew down? I couldn't hear Bessie snorting in his pen. He's not angry, I told myself. He just got a bad cold. With shaky paws, I climbed onto his back. The door of the pen opened. Bessie took off like a shot. Goodbye, Stiltons. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye, rodents everywhere. I sobbed. Why? I tried to hold on to Bessie, but he was too strong for me. In a flash, he thrown me down on the ground. Help! I squeaked as Bessie tried to trample me. I was able to get away, but he was right on me, on my tail. His horns hooked my shoulders. He tossed me into the air. I bounced off the fence. Then I landed back on Bessie. Suddenly I spotted my little nephew Benjamin. He was waving his paw frantically. What was he trying to tell me? Benjamin started to yell something. It sounded like corn. Or was it corn? Next, my nephew began pointing at his ear. Did he have an earache? I love my nephew, but I couldn't worry about his ears now. Just then, I glanced down at Bessie's massive neck. That's when I noticed his ear. A huge cactus thorn was stuck on it. Holy cheese! So that's what my nephew was trying to tell me. The thorn was making Bessie hopping mad. As I tumbled off his back, I plucked the thorn from his ear. Bessie stopped snoring. He stopped kicking. He stopped moving. He laid his head on my shoulder. And then he smiled. I patted his head and jumped on his back. I couldn't believe it. I, Geronimo Stilton, had tamed Bessie. Benjamin ran toward me. You saved my life, nephew! I squeaked. I pulled him up onto Bessie's back. We took a victory lap around the ranch. The rodents of Cactus City arrived. They clapped and cheered on a song. Strong rodents know how to forgive. Meanwhile, Wicked Whiskers was furious. He couldn't understand why Bessie wasn't mad anymore. Why did you make cream cheese? Why didn't you make out of cream cheese out of stranger? He screamed at the bull. My grand wimpy Whiskers is tougher than you. Bessie stamped his hoof. With a snort, he tossed Wicked Whiskers into the air. The gunmouse fell to the ground. The bull put his hoof on Whiskers' tummy. Wicked Whiskers' teeth were chattering. His tail was twitching. Don't hurt me. Oh my. This is interesting. This is actually interesting. The gun mouse stammered. I knelt down next to Wicked Whiskers. The crowd gathered round. I think you owe these citizens of Cactus City an apology, I said. You need to give them their water back. You need to stop being a bully. The gun mouse nodded his head. You're right, stranger, he whispered. I'm sorry what I've done for. Sorry. But the crowd wasn't convinced. Let's make him pay for it, a mouse screeched. Let's get even, another shouted. I knew I had something to do quick. Violence is not the answer, I told the crowd, the citizens of Cactus City. Strong rodents know how to forgive. You need to show Wicked Whiskers you're stronger than he is. You need to let him go. The crowd stopped yelling. They looked embarrassed. I patted the bull's head. Then I told him to take his hoof off Wicked Whiskers. He did. Wicked let out a sigh of relief. Thanks, stranger, he grinned. You really are a strong cow rat. I'm really surprised. Why didn't they still ask his name? You really are a strong cow rat. He took off his sheriff's star. Then he jumped on his horse. The gun mice followed. They galloped off, leaving a cloud of dust. Yippee! After the gun mice left, we went to the Twisting Tail River. We found the dam that kept the water from reaching Cactus City. It had a handle that locked. Geronimo, you unlock that thing, he ordered. Then, Mick, you pull it out, okay? Okay, let's go. Go, go, go. Minutes later, the dam was open. Water flowed out with a loud whoosh. Yippee! We shouted. Thea and Trap did a dance. Benjamin clapped his paws, and Mick let out a happy whistle. As for me, I pulled out a tin cup from my supplies. I knelt down and scooped some water from the river. I don't know about everyone else, but I was dying from thirst. A tin star in search of a sheriff. Back in Cactus City, the judge held a meeting. This tin star is in search of a sheriff, he announced. We need strong cow rat to defend our rods. The rodents of Cactus City nodded. Just then, a school mouse ran over to me. The stranger is the strong cow rat, he said. He could be our new sheriff. He placed the tin star in my paw. I thanked him. Well, first, how did the tin star get in a school mouse's paw? He stole it? I thanked him. I was honored. But of course, I knew that I couldn't stay in Cactus City after all. I had a newspaper to run back at home. And what about my subscription to the Cheese of the Month Club? I couldn't let that good food to waste. Why don't you choose our new sheriff? The judge suggested. I looked around at the crowd. Everyone was quiet. They were waiting for me to make a decision. My head started pounding. I hate being put on the spot. What if I made a mistake? What if everyone laughs at me? What if I